Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jason Vio in for Katarina. This is CBC Windsor News. We begin in Amherstburg, where support is mounting to save a long-running whiskey plant from closure. Diageo, the parent company for Crown Royal, announced last week that it would be shuttering the operation. The plant is the town's biggest employer. The initial outcry over the decision now growing louder.
I'm Dawson Chen at the Crown Royal bottling plant in Amherstburg, just after a crowd gathered here to show support for the workers who are dealing with the plant's closure next February. A day after Premier Doug Ford poured a bottle of Crown Royal whiskey on the ground to show his disgust with parent company Diageo, the plant's retirees rallied with a simple plea: save this plant, save these jobs. Considered the town's biggest employer, the plant currently has 207 unionized employees. But rally organizer Nikki Dufour points out that generations of workers have made their livings here over the decades.
We have family and friends inside that plant. They're very good friends. And they lost. They're losing. But I have faith in our national that they will remain open.
Regarding Doug Ford's whiskey pouring stunt, Dufour says she and others greatly appreciate the Premier's support and agree with a boycott. Paul Pouget worked at the bottling plant for 40 years before he retired in the mid-2000s. He says the workplace has a family atmosphere, owing to the camaraderie of the employees and the fact that actual family members have worked alongside each other.
My sister worked here for a while, my mother worked here for a couple summers, and my wife worked here for 12 years. So it's very family oriented. Just about everybody in this town knows somebody or has a relative that worked there. Grandfathers, parents. Yeah, they got to stop these plant closures in Canada from happening. They just can't keep having that.
The plant is set to shut down by February 2026. Diageo's president of North American Supply says it was a difficult decision, and the company plans on engaging with the community in the weeks to come. Dawson Chen, CBC News, Amherstburg.
And some in Amherstburg who normally serve up the whiskey say they're now putting a cap on Crown Royal and changing up their menu.
When we first heard, the first thing we did was we did pull the Crown Royal products that we carry. We had to pull them. One of the products we make in a signature drink that we have, and which is unfortunate. It's on our menu. And the other thing is we had a Crown Royal burger, which ironically enough used to be a Jack Daniel's burger. And we stopped using Jack Daniel's as an ingredient, as everyone can understand with the tariff situations. And then we redid our menu and said, hey, let's do the Crown Royal burger instead, and we'll use that as an ingredient. And now I'll be taking that off the menu as well, unfortunately. But there's lots of local people that I can collaborate with to make another burger that way. The sad part about it isn't so much the product, but the people and their families and friends. And I can tell you, those people that work there take a lot of pride in their work. There's a lot of pride in wearing their Diageo gear when they come in here, when you see them out and about. And to have this happen kind of unexpectedly with the timing and everything, it's super, super disappointing.
And Diageo also has a plant in Gimli, Manitoba, where Crown Royal whiskey is mashed, distilled, and bottled. One politician in that area says Ontario should rethink its push to boycott Crown Royal.
We still continue to support Ontario-made vehicles. So I guess I'm just reaching out, and hopefully that provinces don't start fighting amongst ourselves and we don't cut off our nose to spite our face as Canadians. All that being said, I do definitely understand the frustrations that the Premier and the community must be going through with an announcement like they had.
Colette Kennedy joins us now for a quick look at weather. Colette, it's pretty comfortable out there, I must say.
Yeah, we've had some really nice conditions for this kind of midweek, and then things are going to start changing, and you can probably see why behind me with our radar imagery showing some of the rain that's essentially on the doorstep. So starting as some lighter showers into the mid-afternoon, or pardon me, mid-evening hours, and then getting heavier as we get into the later evening and overnight, because there are even a few embedded thunderstorms. So locally, we could have some heavier amounts. Most of this, though, falls through the overnight and is leaving by early tomorrow morning. With that, our temperature will be falling to 12 degrees, and then tomorrow we will get into clearing behind that system, but the high just up to 20 degrees, so a little bit cooler. We'll take a look at how much rain is coming when I come back.
All right, thanks, Colette. Windsor is looking to expand a program that would put more surveillance cameras in the downtown core. It's inspired in part by what's happening right across the river in Detroit for more than a decade. Across the river, businesses buy the equipment and opt in so Detroit police can view those cameras live. Canadian law won't allow police to do that here, so businesses set up the equipment, apply for a municipal grant, and a private firm monitors those cameras. I went to Detroit to see how it's been going and compare it to the pilot project that's been underway here in Windsor.
I'm Franklin Hayes, Assistant Police Chief for the Detroit Police Department, and we are here in the Real-Time Crime Center, our technology hub and fusion center here in the city of Detroit. So here in our Real-Time Crime Center, this is where many of the interfaces and technology platforms that we use to combat crime here in the city, they are all housed here. Our flagship program, safety program, is the public-private partnership Greenlight Detroit, Project Greenlight Detroit, and from there, we have our freeway cameras, our vehicle recognition cameras, our shot spotter technology, and we have a few other platforms, all beneficial in helping us achieve the record low crimes that we're experiencing here in the city of Detroit. Currently today, we have a 12.5% decrease in homicides and a 25% decrease in non-fatal shooting. And this is a driving factor in our issue or our strategy to combat crime here in the city. But one that comes to mind is an incident where a patron was upset with the gas station operator and ended up pouring gas in a bucket, walked back in and threw it on there and set fire to the store. So again, through Project Greenlight Detroit, because we were monitoring real time, we were able to get fire out, but also again, that front door camera, we had his face. We put that out from the photos that we got to our partners in the media. In about 72 hours, he was in custody and facing charges.
Hi, my name is Councilor Ronaldo Agostino, and I'm happy here to talk about our new project, Project Street Safe. It's an expansion of a pilot that we did about 2 years ago in downtown Windsor. I believe it's the first of its kind in this country, where we're providing business owners with camera surveillance, overnight surveillance for their businesses, for their properties in the downtown core, to help deal with some of the issues that we're going through downtown, but also as a test to see if a program like this in fact will work, and then possibly one day rolling it out to other parts of the city as well. The success of what we've seen in the pilot, the way that it's being rolled out in other parts of the world, certainly Detroit was certainly a big motivator for what we're trying to do here.
We always had external cameras, we always did have that, but this took everything to a whole new level because now they're monitored. So there's like a green laser light that goes around the perimeter of our property, and when somebody comes on property, the camera goes off, and then we have a virtual guard that will speak to the person on property, and usually it's no big deal. I mean, they will leave right away. Occasionally the police have to be called, and the police are involved, but it has dramatically reduced the vandalism in the evening, and just given everybody, safety and security as they leave the building, as they approach the building in terms of our team members and management coming in. It's really been remarkable.
Robert Franz has been the face and the voice of the Windsor Symphony Orchestra for the last many number of years. Today, we learned he died after a battle with stage 4 cancer. The CBC's Jennifer LaGrassa brings us the story.
I just heard him say before that he's at his most joyous when he's conducting an orchestra.
And that's exactly why Robert Franz dedicated his life to music. Many of his performances over the last 13 years were done right here at the Capitol Theatre, where he led the Windsor Symphony Orchestra as music director and maestro. But he came to be a conductor as a talented musician himself.
Well, Robert was primarily an oboe player. I'm not sure about the moment that it clicked for him, but he just felt he wanted to make music with a bigger instrument than just the oboe, which was the orchestra.
Earlier on in his career, he was an assistant conductor to Carl Topolo and also a close friend.
We both got to the point where we were mentors for each other, and like they say in Getting to Know You, when you become a teacher, by your pupils you'll be taught. And in the case with Robert, it was definitely a two-way street.
He was recognized by symphonies across the United States, partnering with many as a guest conductor. In Windsor, the WSO says his unique ideas made the theater a place for everyone.
He also recognized that in order to bring in new people into the theater here, what we call butts in the seats, he had to do things to change things up.
He reached out to local schools eager to help young musicians and connect them to the symphony.
I can't believe what an impact he had on the students and myself too. He really helped the students and the educators bring out the passion in music, and he was so good at sharing that and bringing out the best in the students.
In 2021, Robert was diagnosed with cancer, stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. After intense treatment, it went into remission. But earlier this year, it came back.
We all knew that he had been sick, but I don't think anybody really understood or appreciated quite how sick he was and how quickly he turned for the worst.
Robert died on Tuesday. He was 57 years old. In a Facebook post, his husband Brandon shared this tribute. "Rest well, my handsome prince. You fought valiantly and loved me fiercely. I could not have had a more brilliant love to share this adventure."
In provincial news, Ontario's sluggish home construction market is beginning to trigger job losses in the trades. That warning coming from a group that represents builders in the province. Queen's Park reporter Sean Jeffords has those details.
This 9-story mass timber building is coming together on Royal York Road in Etobicoke. Elements of the prefab design are built in Vancouver and shipped to the site for construction. It's innovative work to address the housing crisis at a time when the Residential Construction Council of Ontario warns projects are starting to dry up.
We're in the process of laying off thousands of people right now.
That group says it's beginning to see the impact of the province's stalled housing starts, and layoffs amongst the trades are taking hold.
A year from now, give or take, those people that are working on all those high-rise projects that are getting finished are going to be unemployed, which is terrible.
It's a warning that comes as Ontario grapples with both rising unemployment and slowing home construction. Unemployment across the province has jumped to 7.8%. Ontario lost 38,000 jobs between April and June, mostly in manufacturing. And the province has missed its goal of building 125,000 new homes, hitting about 75% of that target in 2024. Builders are urging Ontario to cut taxes and fees it charges, including HST for first-time home buyers. But Premier Doug Ford says his government needs Canada's central bank to cut borrowing costs.
The Bank of Canada, they have to lower the interest rates. And, they can't just keep saying no, 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 no.
There's no reason we can't build one of these factories.
This housing advocate says the province should take note of the development on Royal York Road and emulate it widely. More mass timber builds could spark housing construction and also draw a home prefabricator to Ontario, creating jobs.
We grow the lumber here, we harvest the lumber here, we make the panels here, we make the steel here, we recycle the steel here, and it becomes the kind of housing that you're seeing behind me.
He'd also like to see the government increase loans and grants to help get shovels in the ground.
We actually need to see the province of Ontario putting their hands in their pockets and matching the kind of capital grants to affordable housing development and to rental housing development.
We have
this expert says the federal government, province, and municipalities aren't aligned on housing solutions, making it hard to tackle the supply problem.
Let's have a big initiative to help subsidize labor as well, and build that pipeline back up before we start losing our labor talent.
Ontario's introduced a number of new policies designed to spur home construction in recent months. That includes deferral of development charges for builders and loosening zoning rules around transit stations. All of this as it struggles to stay on track and hit that target of building 1.5 million homes by 2031. Sean Jeffords, CBC News, Toronto.
Here's a live look outside. Colette will be back a little later in the show with what's in store for the days ahead later in the program. But first, when we come back, we'll have your top national stories. Stay with us. Prime Minister Mark Carney is meeting his cabinet for 2 days to chart out his government's priorities ahead of the Parliament's fall session. Hanging in the air, an unresolved trade war with the Trump White House. But as Ashley Burke reports, the Prime Minister says don't expect white smoke from the U.S. just yet.
The Prime Minister arriving to meet his cabinet with an update on his talks with Donald Trump.
I last spoke to the President Monday evening. We spoke at length on a wide range of issues. It was a good conversation.
That conversation unfolding the same day Canada officially dropped some of its retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. to try and reach a deal.
The clerk of the Privy Council is there in Washington as we speak, that is meeting with the U.S. counterparts.
The government wants the U.S. to drop or lower its tariffs hitting Canadian industries hard, like aluminum and steel, lumber, and the auto sector. But Carney says there's no sign of relief yet.
Don't expect immediate white smoke on one of these strategic sectors, but that's the type of conversation that we're having and will continue to have.
The Conservatives leader firing back, accusing Carney of breaking election promises.
He promised elbows up, he's been elbows down. He promised he would have dollar for dollar tariffs. He promised that he would get a deal with President Trump by July the 21st. There has been no deal.
These pollsters told Cabinet Canadians are less afraid of Trump and tariffs than they were during the election, giving the government time to reach a deal.
50% of the people said they will succeed, 50% said he will not succeed. So that means, for me, the Prime Minister has some room, okay, to solve this issue. He doesn't need to solve the issue in short term because the expectation are it will be difficult for the next few months, and people understand that.
American political strategist Kevin Roberts is expected to speak to Cabinet tomorrow. He's the head of a conservative think tank behind Project 2025, a blueprint designed to get Trump to consolidate power. The Prime Minister's office says that it's a move to try and better understand the Trump administration's mindset and playbook. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Toronto.
Starbucks is the latest big coffee chain trying to appeal to customers looking for more protein in their diet. Anis Hadari looks at what's driving demand and why not everyone is convinced.
Whether it's Starbucks or Tim Hortons, new protein drinks are grabbing customers' interest.
If I'm getting a coffee anyways, I would always go for the protein choice, always.
Oh my God, this is like the best thing ever because 20 grams of protein's a lot, especially in a latte.
I think they're probably good, but they're probably like upcharging for protein lattes.
At Tim Hortons, that high protein drink does cost more. At Starbucks, they won't say yet.
They're going to get potentially some higher margin.
This retail expert says it's a way to make more money.
I think marketers have done their research. They've realized there's a big market there. Supposedly the market's about a $2 billion market and it's growing about 7% a year. So, there is a big demand for it.
That demand means protein is no longer stuck in the meat aisle. And it's not just in new coffees. Some milks have higher protein. Pasta too, with high protein, even cereal.
What people actually need and what people think they need.
But this dietitian and researcher says social media has people overestimating what they need, whether it's to gain muscle or lose weight.
We see the food companies creating products and responding to consumer demand for protein. But at the source of the consumer demand is often a lot of misinformation.
Can I get one of the protein ice? That consumer demand could also be driven by trends, which can change.
We looked 20 years ago when it was all about low carbs, and this is a bit of an evolution of that, a bit of an evolution of keto. It's maybe protein is just the next in the evolution of the healthy eating trend.
Health-wise, that extra protein may not hurt or help.
For most people, it's benign. Whether you're going to drink a latte that has 28 grams of protein, or you're going to drink a latte that has 8 grams of protein, that's not going to have a huge overall impact on your health.
So a little extra protein in your coffee might only mean a little less money in your wallet. Anis Hadari, CBC News, Calgary.
Still to come here on CBC Windsor News, Colette Kennedy is standing by live to give you a full look at your weather right after the break. Colette Kennedy joins us live now for a fulsome look at weather. And Colette, we were just talking about how warm and hot the summer was and how we're dipping down and things are kind of cool and comfortable now, which I'm not complaining about.
Yeah, no one's complaining. I mean, today we had a bit of a bump, but you're right. The temperature's kind of cooling as we get behind this cold front that's going to be moving through. So it sort of lends to the question of, all right, we had an above seasonal summer in terms of temperatures. Is that going to carry on into the fall? So just looking at those projections for the months of September, October, and November. Now, a little further away from us, over towards the Ottawa Valley, into Quebec, Labrador, and parts of Atlantic Canada, chances are even greater for above normal temperatures. But we do fall within the area where we're looking at roughly 40 to 50% chance that temperatures are going to be a little above seasonal through the period. I mean, then there's a big chunk that says the probability puts us near normal, and then a lesser amount saying below. So in terms of what the numbers look like, I would say we are certainly leaning towards it being either seasonal or a little bit above as we move into this fall season. So not surprising with what we've had through the summer. There's the cold front right there. We were up to 28 degrees, 26 now. Along with that cold front ahead of it, these winds out of the southwest have been gusty. They're actually calmed down a little bit because we've had gusts over 50 kilometers an hour. Here's that rainfall that's going to keep moving in, so right on the doorstep there. And we'll have it come in kind of some scattered showers first as we go through the evening and later evening, and then towards midnight, perhaps some heavier amounts of rain here and into the wee overnight hours due to some embedded thunderstorms in there. And then by tomorrow morning, it's already pushing out, and by afternoon, we get into some clearing and the sun coming back. But some cooler air will be moving in behind this and a bit unstable, so we could have some scattered showers still a few days after that. Looking at about 10 to 15 millimeters other than higher amounts in areas where we do get some of those thunderstorms, because some of those can locally put down more significant amounts, and that's when we get pushed up to that 20 to 25 millimeters, perhaps there in Chatham-Kent. So once that front moves through, we get the clearing in the afternoon. We go from 28 today to a high of 24 tomorrow. Some cooler overnight, single digits coming at us. Friday, not bad in terms of the temperature, but do note is going to be breezy, and so those winds strong enough that it's actually going to feel a little bit cooler. So some changes coming our way, Jason.
All right, thanks so much, Colette. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Good night.